Alright, let's go back to the ship. Talk to that guy. He's definitely gonna, next time we warp jump, he's just gonna burst into like a void spawn. Alright, let's leave this place. Chart new routes. 10? No way. What? Really? Oh, they paid me. They paid me good money. So, where did I want to go again? Kaiva Gamma. And if I do this, I can make it safe. Ahaha! I got points, boy. What do you know? What do you know? Okay, let me go back to the ship first. Oh, repaired. Nice, we can take fights again. I got paid for that. 10 points. How do I get back to my ship? Back to bridge. $10 Navi points. Lord Captain, that man you just brought on the ship has corrupted all of Lower Deck. So where is he? Where is he? Where is this guy? For real. We've got so much to do, man. We've got... I don't even want to talk to Heinrich yet. So that guy that we saved, he's not here to talk to. Alright, what's Cassie got to say?
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our... Too many colors. The hues flicker and intersperse, merging into a single wave. It's about to crash. Forgive me, but I cannot satisfy your curiosity at this time. Perhaps later.
Alright.
I have enjoyed your company.
Get out of my face. So, I got points, man. I can move around. I can move around. So we can get here for free, nice and safe. Lord Captain Lady Orsilio was asking where she could find you. I sent her to your study. You can expect her there shortly. It's about time. That's her, right? It's Cassie. It's about time she came around. Lord Captain, could you spare a moment to discuss a personal matter? Cassia less than graceful. Movements betray her anxiety. She lowers her eyes slightly and fidgets with a satin handkerchief as she waits for your answer. I am Lord Captain once again, I see. Surely you know that you may call me by my name. I will admit, I am intrigued. What is this personal matter? This can't be too bad to say. I have to say this. I may but I will not. I would not wish to overstep any boundaries around anyone, let alone the rogue trader himself. I will admit I am intrigued. I am rather embarrassed to ask you about something like this, but last I was here I noticed a curious tome on the shelves of your personal library. A rather heavy looking volume bound in a worn gilded cover with the symbol of the Adeptus Ministorum on it. Martyrdom of Saint Visteria, I believe it was. Cassia waves her hand in the direction of the shelves, and the satin handkerchief slips out of her fingers. Oh, is she trying to game me? Trying to drop stuff on the floor on purpose? Cassia takes a quiet breath of frustration, but it does not escape your notice that her ruby eyes are intently observing your reaction. A tome. That's why you are distracting me from my duties because of some long dead saint? Ignore the handkerchief. Ah, wait. I remember reading about this in the simp book. Ignore the handkerchief. I see. Why, certainly you are welcome to pursue my library at any time. Pick up the handkerchief. Here, you drop this. Pick up the handkerchief, bring it to your lips, then return it to Cassia. Yes, so she is messing her. Oh, Cassie came around. I'm in there. She did it on purpose. The soft fabric tickles your lips, and the subtle scent envelops you like a thin veil. Cassie accepts the handkerchief with a nod of gratitude and, for the first time, gives you a look filled with warmth and affection. Thank you, Lord Captain. I believe I should return to my chambers now. But what about the book? She graces you with a half-hidden smile and swiftly leaves the study. Sheesh. Next time we're fully going. Yo, she came in here to throw some game on me. I don't know if I like that. Only I'm allowed to throw game around here. Jeez. I wonder if I chose. I'm scared to do anything too crazy. Escort her to her chambers. I might need to refer to the simp book real quick. What did it say next? That book is legit. I like it. I'm a subscriber. Is this it? Notes? No, that wasn't it, right? There we go. How to express your feelings to a noble lady. Info. Okay, so where is... Should the lady drop her handkerchief? The diva's expression of sympathy for her would be to perform the following gesture. Pick up the handkerchief, wait for a brief moment, then bring the handkerchief to your lips and touch it lightly before returning it to the lady. This noble gesture will assure the lady of the seriousness of your intentions. Remember that the flower bud of true feelings takes time to blossom. Patience, loyalty, and impeccability in adhering to the decorums of the nobility is key to earning the lady's favorable disposition. So I have to wait time. I have to wait for some time. We'll see. We'll see what the next one is saying. She came here to drop her handkerchief. Yo, she's like, I didn't come for no stupid book. Fucking book. How do I get out of here? Sheesh. Now we're going back to Cassie. Where you at?
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating
Let's see if this says
conversations.
anything different now. No, okay.
Too many colors.
This is where I must beg my
The hues
leave.
flicker and intersperse.
Let me just see if there's
Imagine
anything new here.
You wish to know
Nope.
about me? You will hear. I have enjoyed.
Yes, Cassie dropped the handkerchief right in front of me. So what about Argenta, man? She needs to come around too. Send her a handkerchief. Let her pick up some tips from Cassie. Sheesh. Okay. So visit. Things are about to get real in this place, I think. I think this is where the administrum or whatever it's called is. Lord Captain, according to the telemetry, we are in the system of Kyber Gamma, the main industrial world of the Von Valencius dynasty. However, Astral Paths report that attempts to contact Governor Gaprek have been unsuccessful. But wait, the Voxmaster is silent for a few seconds. Lord Captain, any report? Kyber Gamma is sending a request to exchange data. Should we accept? Reply with our own request. As you command, Lord Captain. The Voxmaster switches to a nearby comm channel to relay your instructions to the crew. For several minutes, nothing happens. Lord Captain reporting. The manufacturer is not ignoring all our requests and continues to send us its own. The longer we do not accept their messages, the stronger and more persistent the incoming signals become. I've never seen anything like it. Suddenly, a deafening screech erupts from the bridge's vox system. You hear violent tirades of garbled Binharic code, like the low chuckles of machinery. The Lord Captain, interference detected in the compartment vox system. Looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. Oh, what we got going on now? Start of picked recording. The void ship's bridge. Sounds of working cogitators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound, followed by lumens going out. In the dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers in frame cries out. Another falls to her knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of voxes, shouts can only just be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We've lost contact with all compartments. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the vox stations are malfunctioning and overloading the systems. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones that do make it are distorted beyond interpretation. The Lord Captain gives the order to decipher the incoming vox transmissions at all costs. Continue sending orders from the bridge and request status updates from the other compartments. Decipher that shit. Proceed! A team of decryption experts gets to work. Data tethers are inserted into the sockets as they connect to the cogitators. Oh, this picture looks crazy. They're going crazy. What's these hands? One of the Vox clerics leans over the console. Another is writing something on a piece of parchment. But then she bursts into maniacal laughter and stabs herself in the eye with a steel quill. Another scream. A tech priest who was mid-prayer tears himself to pieces with his own echidendrites. More and more lunatics are mutilating themselves and lunging at others. Portion of picked recording damaged after contact with unknown object. An enforcer shoves a rabid servitor away from the Lord Captain as he rushes to help the crew, shouting out orders, executes one of the lunatics, and roars a series of orders to the rest. Begins methodically exterminating any who show signs of madness. Alright, let's do this one. The image on the pict is fuzzy, nothing but glimpses of people shouting, racket, and the Lord Captain's orders. Within minutes, the crazed crew members are either dead or bound and unconscious. The officers clustered around the Lord Captain are barely breathing but unharmed. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the on-deck engine seer who turned to the Lord Captain from his station. We have been attacked with scrap code, a tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint and is now running through the ship's veins. Omnissiah, preserve us. Oh no. The Voidborn officer appears before the Lord Captain once more. Whatever it is that's attacking us, we have a backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there is a terminal for an isolated system that might still be unaffected. A loud pop, the pipes over the officer's head burst, and a blast of hot air flings the Voidborn away from the Lord Captain, his body slamming straight through the cogitator panel. The picked frame spins uncontrollably. The servo skull was jolted by the gust. The picked recording fogs over, the vox picking up the crackling of electricity and a deaf cry. Gas on the bridge! A junior attendant shouts and instantly doubles over, inhaling the poisoned air. The rogue trader gives the order to evacuate immediately, commands the crew to carry on with their duties until the very last. Whew. Runs for his life from the bridge. Persuasion. Succeeded! The rogue trader personally oversees the evacuation. Bring the plasma cutters. Get the wounded to the exit. The officers repeat his orders. When the servo skull following the rogue trader reaches the doors, they fall to the plasma cutters and crumble outward. The rogue trader is the last to leave the bridge. I'm a hero. Leaning on a support team, the rogue trader takes several deep breaths, trying to flush his lungs with air. Then he straightens, smooths his uniform, and heads towards a goal known only to him. The servo skull follows. The atrium is in a state of panic. Silhouettes skitter about the dark hall, illuminated only by the flickering of emergency lumens. Curt orders and someone's feverish words of prayer can be heard. Having lost all communication, the beheaded ship is writhing in agony. This is Abel's time to shine, man. I kept him here to solve this problem. It takes a while for the Lord Captain to find the cogitator mentioned by the fallen officer. The panel of the isolated terminal is riddled with cracks and bloodstains, and on the floor by the terminal, a tech priest is laying in a heap with his head smashed and technical liquids mixed with blood oozing out of his pores. The Lord Captain decides to take his chances restoring the terminal. The rogue trader rips the power key off the tech priest's mechadendrite and opens the cover on the terminal. Sparks fly into his face, but he is confident in his manipulation of the tangled wires and clanging of levers. After replacing the cover and ensuring the system is restored, the Lord Captain brings up the required data on the screens. The maintenance bay is sending out hundreds of desperate distress calls that have gone unanswered up to now, when the machines went out of control and started turning people insane. Others, driven by some hateful and paranoid logic, started butchering the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The tech priests have sustained heavy losses, but the remains of the cult are still holding the line. Out of everything that's happening on the ship, the situation in the maintenance bay is the direst. The Lord Captain knows where help is needed most. He decides to. Bro, send officers to the compartment. You're doing too much. Send officers to the compartment where the situation is critical. The rogue trader contacts several officers via the Vox terminal and orders them to deal with the most critical situation on the ship at once. Return to the bridge. Lord Captain! The Vox Master's voice is quivering with exhaustion. The situation has been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is capable of motion. We may even be able to conduct a warp jump if you feel we should leave the system. Allow me to bring you up to date. Fortunately, the bridge suffered only minor losses. The reports mention only a few casualties that have already been replaced. I have bad news, Lord Captain. The panic, or perhaps the pernicious influence, that's easily angered, right? Easily angered. Pernicious. Having a very harmful effect or influence. Okay. Having a very harmful effect or influence. The pernicious influence of the power that reached the crew via the boxes riled up the unlettered rabble, driving them into a paranoid frenzy. For some tragic reason, they decided the omniscience adepts were to blame and slaughtered everyone they could reach. Oh no. Devoid of help and protection, the maintenance bay crew suffered tremendous losses. Jeez. That's not the people that I saved from the other place, right? Thanks to the efforts of senior officers, we managed to get the situation under control. The losses on the decks are minimal, and the number of casualties does not exceed 2,000 souls. Kaiva Gamma went silent after transmitting the harmful signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. I am afraid we have exhausted our options for remote analysis. More information can only be obtained by closing the distance or even sending an away party to the planet's surface. The box clicks as Heinrich joins the channel. Sir Deepest, we haven't managed to discuss the nature of my mission. I was assigned to your entourage for a reason. Time is running out, so I will be brief. I must be present during your expedition to the planet. I trust the greeting we received from Kaiva Gamma has dispelled your doubts about whether the events on the planet require my scrutiny. The crew is awaiting further instructions, Lord Captain. Yeah, no, I'll talk to you, bro. It's cool. But first, telling me there's no loot here? Krenak. There's gotta be something here. Say what? This dwarf planet is marked on the von Valancius Protectorate charts as Atli, and serves as a backup source of water for the habitable worlds of neighboring systems. Due to the abundance of bacteria proliferating in the Atli hydrosphere, the extraction of ice was stopped half a century ago, but much to your officers' surprise, the augurs detected an unidentified mining rig deep underground. Presumably, the excavation is aimed at extracting clay minerals near the planet's core, enriched with iron and other materials. Fellowship. Contact the Extractium's Vox station. The Extractium turns out to be Incendia Chorda's latest investment, whose domain is located just within a few jumps from the Krenak system. While this world is of little value to the von Valancius dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted rogue traders' leniency. The main is land of like crops or something, right? I think.
Domain.
Oh, an area of land owned or controlled by someone. That's it. Not to do with crops. Okay. Ooh, the Seneschal considers this act unacceptable and insists on confiscating and rebasing this extractium that was illegally set up in von Valancius territory. Magos Pascal notes the unusual composition of Atlas core. Subsequent development will allow the extraction of rare refractory metals. Heeding his advice, the rogue trader decides to keep the extractium for himself. The rogue trader graciously allows Incendia Chorda to feed on crumbs unworthy of the von Valancius dynasty. Yo, we're taking that shit. Your people easily assume control of the frightened workers. Control as the frightened workers and the token security crew do not even attempt to resist. The Extractium's machines are restarted shortly after. The amassed containers filled with precious ore are delivered to the flagship's cargo hold. Give me that. Alright, let's talk to Heinrichs because he's throwing a fit. Report received. Confirm that verification is complete. So, Heinrichs, where you at? It's right next to me. He's right next to me. Alright, talk your stuff, bro. Heinrichs looks at you intently, his head tilted. I know nothing about you, Heinrichs. Could you tell me a little about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
Heinrichs' face is momentarily split by a sarcastic grin. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
How did you discover your abilities?
Like many psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Heinrichs falls silent. Then he sighs and reluctantly continues. The interrogator looks away and adds more quietly. Sorceress powers are truly dangerous. I hope you have mastered your abilities since then. I expected a more dramatic story. I don't know what I'm more surprised by, the absurdity of this story or the fact you're capable of such a show of emotion. You have that little control over yourself. You're simply dangerous. Let's say two.
If I were to summon a demon or rain down fire on everyone's heads, we wouldn't be standing here talking right now. However, I took the life of a family member. In my opinion, that is more than enough drama.
Tell me about Black Ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psykers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers.
Heinrichs is silent for so long you begin to think that an answer will not be forthcoming.
Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship.
You were sent to the...
Grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Heinrich stops there, clearly not intending to elaborate further. Let's talk about something else. How long have you served in the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
You visited many worlds during your service, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, Even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the Segment's other worlds.
This is basically Earth. What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisitor?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
Yeah, I do. The interrogator returns you a look and smiles, but thanks to the expression in his ice-cold eyes, the effect is rather unnerving. For someone who's been in service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Let's change the subject.
Gladly.
You are not the Inquisition's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I've been working alone.
Heinrich's expression becomes pensive, and he seems to look through you to something beyond. Wandering among the stars without family or friends, don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean you hold a special person in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there other acolytes in the Cronus Expanse? The interrogator narrows his eyes at you and releases a disappointed sigh. After several seconds of silence, you realize that you will not be getting an answer. Let's talk about something else.
Such as?
I want to discuss the Cult of the Final Dawn. What can you tell me about it? That's the one that he wants to talk about. What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
I am bored of Juliet. I would like to hand the Xenos over to the Inquisition. No way. I want the Inquisition to take care of Idra. Rid me of her. Choose. I want you to leave. Okay. So we'll talk.
The cult's ordinary members are humans who have been corrupted by the archenemy, traitors to the Imperium, and accomplices of Chaos. Participation in the cult's rituals always entails brainwashing, literally and figuratively. The longer cult members spend among other cultists, the less critically they think, and the more closely they resemble obedient livestock, stripped of their fear and instinct for self-preservation. The worst of them go to their deaths without an inkling of doubt, ready to take hundreds and thousands of souls with them.
So I'm starting to think maybe the warp is obviously this like ethereal place, right? I'm gonna have to take a break. Is this place of like just weird energy, a different dimension, right? But chaos thrives there. So maybe the warp itself isn't bad, but chaos, which is the very bad entity's energy, thrives there. So when Idra is listening to the whispers behind the warp, maybe there's, you know, just decent energy amongst a bunch of chaos energy too. Because this shit is confusing.
As for those at the top of the cult's hierarchy, we have not yet managed to get a lead on all of the cult's leaders. I imagine that some of them are hiding in the depths of the Coronis Expanse. But those who are orchestrating the fanatics on nearby worlds are hiding very well indeed. Or receiving protection from above.
I'm gonna have to look at maybe a video on warp lore. Warhammer warp lore. That must exist. Remind me, what is your mission regarding the cult?
I need to confirm the reports from my agents. According to them, one of the cult's leaders is in the Kiava Gamma segment, an industrial world within the dominion of the Von Valancius dynasty. I hope you won't impede my investigation.
Watch your mouth, Heinrichs. What do you mean? Protection from the above?
Governors, commanders, rogue traders. History is full of those who neglect their duty to the Golden Throne and seek allies in the wrong places.
You seem to have been investigating this cult for some time.
We discovered the first traces of it as soon as we arrived in the Coronis Expanse. Since then, the more we learn, the better we see just how far the roots of this blight extend. Destroying individual cells is pointless. We must cut this beast off at its head.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
Alright, I must take my leave. Heinrich politely inclines his head in response. Can I change my So we got a level up, and we also maybe we gotta gear him? I'm not sure. Damn, man, we're gonna have to do a lot. So this, she's a grand strategist. I want to level up. What am I doing? There we go, I see. No. Yeah, is she a bounty hunter? She is. It shows that, huh? Piercing shot. Trap. We're doing the trap. Catch. What's this? Gruesome kill. Feel like the fun stuff is up here, right? Let's get gruesome kill. Bounty hunter complete. Alright, what you got? Is this extra attack? The Archmedicine immediately gains 7 MP. If the Archmilitant has stacks of versatility, they gain 3 more stacks of versatility, which last until the end of their turn. I think I like that. Let's do this. Always ready. The Archmilitant begins combat with 2 stacks of versatility. While when entering combat, Archmilitant gains 6 weapon skill. Blah blah blah. Huh? I feel like this. I think we're good. And do we need to give him a new sword? His stuff is kind of good. He's even got a shotgun. Can I do it by damage? Nope. So 12 to 16. Jeez. The X is good. Give him a little X. 12 to 16. Some of these weapons are fucking dope. Damn, do I give him the big thing? Shoosh. I like it. I like it. And a shotgun, yep, so he whacks, change weapon, shotgun, change weapon, whacks. Yeah, we got this. He has no gear, no items on him. Give him a couple grenades. Give him this, I think he'll enjoy that. What's he wearing? Attacks of opportunity, deal bonus damage. What is this? What is this? Intelligence? Yeah, it's good. These gloves reduce, no boots. Let's do this. Iconoclast. What is he? What is this? If he has Iconoclast. See? He doesn't. What is it? What is it I put on him? Okay. Alright. Take a little break. I'm getting a bit drowsy. All the reading. It's not natural to me.